Good afternoon. My lesson was over traditions and custom. This is a kindergarten social studies lesson, a one teach, one observe, and this lesson is approximately 60 minutes. My central focus. This lesson is the beginning of the Tennessee State Standard. This unit will include detailed instructions and hands-on activities for the students related to the content. During this lesson, the students will learn about the different traditions, people, custom, places, and things. The goal of this lesson is to teach students the different cultures and the difference from their own culture and others. The standards addressed is SS.K01, and that is to describe familiar people, places, things, and events within a student's home, school, and community. Also, I added in another lesson plan, Tennessee State Standard, which is SS.K02, compare and contrast family traditions and customs, including food, clothing, homes, and games. Lesson objectives. The students will be able to recognize the different traditions, customs, and cultures, not just their own. After viewing the YouTube video on traditions, they will get to see other children around the world's traditions. Circle time, students will come together for a read aloud. What do you celebrate? Holidays and festivals around the world by Whitney Stewart. After viewing the video on culture and traditions, students will be able to explain their own traditions with 100% accuracy using a visual representation of the many traditions in the community, school, and as well as things at home. The students will be able to identify the different things they see or do. The students will be given a My Family Tradition worksheet where they will be explaining their favorite holiday that they celebrate. And that the students will be given an oral and a paper exit ticket on the tradition that they choose. For a formative assessment. During the lesson, indirect assessments will take place. The teacher will ask questions directly pertaining the lesson. The teacher will ask questions to identify their knowledge and understanding on the unit. The teacher will reply with a response to each student's answer. The teacher will observe the class/students while they're working on their tradition worksheet, looking to see if each student is on task and writing on their activity sheet, making observations as the teacher walk around the classroom. The teacher will help students that are struggling with their tradition or having a hard time thinking of ideas, allow the students to ask questions, and the teacher will provide credible feedback. And the students will complete an exit ticket that will help the teacher identify the student's strength. And this is just one of the examples of the worksheet that will be given out. And this is the second one. For a summative assessment, the students will take an end of unit test of their different traditions that they have heard throughout the class or seen visually. The students will take an end of unit test on traditions that they saw during the YouTube video. Assessment accommodations. ESL students will be partnered with proficient students with the 80% or above. Students with 504 special educations will have a little more time than the other students. And students with 504 special education will also have a teacher present to speak orally for the ones that need extra help reading. Background rationale. Like I said in the beginning, this lesson is the first lesson of the Tennessee State Standard. In this lesson, the student will be able to understand different traditions, cultures, and customs. In the next lesson, students will compare and contrast their traditions and customs. And for the reason that I'm doing this lesson is because it's very important for students to understand the different traditions and look at other traditions besides their own, because it's rare that a child knows more than just what they celebrate or how their family does things. Like, they only know what they do and not of other students. So this will be a great opportunity. The key concept for this lesson is for the students to be able to identify and understand the different traditions, customs, and cultures. That's just like what I said earlier, like students need like more diversity in their learning besides just being able to just know their own tradition. Academic language is traditions, cultures, customs, and communities. The teacher will plan on building this lesson by giving activity worksheets out and helping students understand the meaning of traditions. The teacher will also be sending homework sheets home to help build on the lesson so the students can get more visual representations outside of school. So they can have more things to look at home, certain things that that their family do. Like, so I know a lot of people have dinner at a certain time, no cell phones. So that will give them an opportunity as well. The teacher will need to have differentiated lessons for the students that's having a hard time understanding and or that's struggling with the unit as a whole. Incorporating the community in the lesson, the teacher will use the bubble map and call on each student during circle time to go over their traditions. Introduction. The introduction will take about 15 minutes. The teacher will begin this lesson by using the whiteboard to draw the bubble map. The teacher will ask the students questions about their knowledge on traditions. The teacher will proceed to ask them about some of their family traditions and will jot them down in a bubble map. The teacher will ask these questions. What are some of the traditions you notice in your community? What are some traditions that happens at school? Have you ever noticed someone else's tradition? If so, tell me how they are different from yours. The teacher will give an example of a tradition that she does to like get the students like thinking like, oh, this is what a tradition is. The teacher will get the class attention at circle time, and the teacher will do a read aloud of the book. What do you celebrate? Holidays and festivals around the world by Whitney Stewart. And those are like the bubble maps. Like, this is the before on the left hand side, and then this is the after. And then the procedure will take roughly 35 minutes. The teacher will get the attention of everyone after the video, so everybody isn't talking at the same time. After students have watched the short clip, the teacher will ask questions on things that they saw. The teacher will instruct each student to return to their seat as she passes out their worksheet. The students will independently work on their worksheet, and then the students will watch the second video, which is the multicultural song. The students will complete and color the cultural coloring sheet. I do. The teacher will redirect the students' attention towards the bubble map to add more traditions. We do. After doing the worksheet, the teacher will and the students will read their family traditions. You do. The students will work in pairs to read their partner's traditions and learn more about their family tradition. They will also work with their partners to help get great color ideas from them. The materials that will be needed will be pencils, crayons, markers, of course the 2 worksheets, the book, What Do You Celebrate? And these are the 2 YouTube videos, one being the multicultural song and then the other one being the traditions. And then a grading rubric for me, the teacher, internet access, a whiteboard, and a bubble map. Assessment evidence / modifications. Formative assessment, observing the students as they work on the worksheets and answering any questions that they have or any misunderstanding about the unit. And then the summative assessments students will take quiz at the end of the day to give the teacher clarity, just to make sure that they have mastered the lesson for that day. And for the students who didn't master the unit test, they will have a student-teacher meeting to help them improve their score. They will also have a homework packet with less difficult work to get them building up to the more difficult work. Another assessment to see if their grade has improved, and then finally another way to keep them entertained. And then the closure. To close this lesson, the teacher will direct the students to clean up the area and pack up their things and get prepared for the exit ticket. The teacher will do the verbal assessment, asking the students about the traditions and the unit and what did they learn. The teacher then pass out a piece of paper with the question, what did you learn about other traditions? And tell me more about it. And then the exit ticket. That will be the oral assessment. And then the tell me what you learned about another tradition. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you.